Hi, Henry. It's Rosemary Davies-Janes here, and getting back to you with an answer to the question you left me with after we spoke on Friday. I had a lot of fun coming up with my mode and format of answer. I hope you enjoy it. First of all, there's really three types of questions. The first type are very simple questions. Don't overthink these. There's a basic instruction, there is one or a few examples, and a space to jot down your answer. The second type of question is a bit of a layering effect. I provide you with an explanation or a concept, along with one or a few examples, and also provide you with a space to write down your answer. The third type of question is provided for you to use to gather information from people in your personal and professional networks. So it starts out with an explanation or a concept so you understand what the objective is of the exercise. In some cases, we also give you information that will help you prepare the people who are participating so that they have a good understanding right from the start of what you want from them, what sort of feedback is useful, and also how you're going to use their feedback. It's interesting. A lot of people are worried about how their feedback might be used, but they rarely state that concern, so it can really skew answers if that's not brought out into the open. The last part of the gathering question, of course, is a space to record the answers that the people provide to you, so we definitely give you lots of space to do that. Here's an example of a simple question. That's the first category. As you can see, there is a brief 2 lines of instructions and a column of examples and a lot of space to write down your own answers. Here's a second example of a simple question. A little bit different because the instructions are on the previous page, but it's got basic directions. It's got a list of examples that you can use to really spur your own thinking and inspire you. And again, lots of space to jot down your answers. This is a third example of a simple question. The instructions to this one are also on the previous page, but I think you'll pick up what's going on here. Simple question, basic answer in the example, and then the second part of the question, part B, builds on the answer provided in the example to part A. So this is a little bit of stacking, but really pretty simple. So jot down your answers, don't overthink it, and you're good to go. This is an example of the second type of question, which I called layering. Or a layer question, if you will. As you can see, there is a lot of setup here, quite a bit of information that explains what it is you need to do. There are some examples included, so really there's a bit more concept to take in on a layer question. In addition to the examples that explain the concept, we also provide an example exercise where we've completed one of the exercises in advance so you can get a really good sense of the type of answers that you need to come up with. And then, of course, we provide you with a worksheet or answer form where you can jot down your answers. Here's another example of a layer question. Again, lots of concept to take in. It sets you up to be really clear on the work that you're doing. And we've provided some examples here. What's a little different, we do this now and then, not on every exercise. We've prepared and provided you with some multiple choice answers. So if you want to really breeze through this quickly, just go through this table and pick out the comparison and description answers that seem to work for you and just zoom through the answering process. This one actually, before you get to the answers, goes back into concept. So we gave you concept example, now we're giving you more concept before we're asking you to come up with your answers. And that's just so you're extremely clear on what it is you are planning to do. And there's your answer sheet. Here's an example of a gather question. And as I said earlier, the gather questions are used when you're asking others for feedback. And the people who are involved in this process always find it a lot of fun. When you use this type of gather question, where it's just a simple form, multiple choice, they can check their answers, write comments if they wish. It's really fast and easy for them to complete, and do expect them to be following up with you to find out what the overall outcome was from the piece they participated in. Here's a different type of gather question. It's a little bit more complex because it's got a longer explanation of the concept. In this case, it's because it is a more complex concept that it requires a little bit more extensive explanation. So all you need to do is really read through, understand the concept, and what we've done in this case, we do this occasionally when we've got a more complicated type of gather question, is we've given you a briefing to use to prepare the participants to participate effectively in the feedback gathering exercise. It's interesting, most people don't ask questions when they're asked to participate in something like this, but the presuppositions and the thoughts, the questions that they're not bringing out can really skew their answers in funny directions. So it's really important to lay it out for them, explain what it is you're asking of them, tell them what kinds of feedback are most helpful and what kinds you'd rather avoid, and let them know how it's going to be used. I think it's really important. People are afraid that their input is going to be used in funny ways, but they'll never ask. So just really clarify with them, this is what I'm asking of you, and this is how I'm going to use your feedback, and you're going to get really accurate, on-point comments. Which, of course, we give you a form to capture. We also, in the gathering exercises, we also recommend as to whether you should send the forms out by email, speak to people face-to-face. There's a fair bit of dialogue there. So in each case where you're doing a gather exercise, asking gather questions, you'll be able to determine which is the best medium and the best approach for you. And this is a summary. I kept it to one page. There's enough to fill about 4 pages, but I think a question that you might have underlaying your other questions is, what are you really going to get out of this personal branding system? I've jotted down a few. You're going to be able to both stand out and fit in. You're going to be remembered, sought out, and selected because you're setting yourself up to be the obvious best choice. You're going to be very easily understood, you'll be clear and convincing, and you're going to become extremely skillful expressing your expertise as benefits. You'll be accepted rapidly, you'll be recognized as unique and valuable. There, like I said, there's about 3-4 pages like this, but I just decided to end this with one, and if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would be delighted to come up with some more answers.